We're lazy. When you get on the job with most black people, everybody look at them and see, man, that nigga, we don't work as hard as other people. So it's obvious why they don't like us. Just look around on your job.
Oh my God.
Let's bring Charleston White in the building. Let's bring Charleston White in the building. He made some interesting comments. I want to get y'all feedback on it.
Even Africans and like Nigerians say crazy shit about African Americans.
Yeah. Nobody rock with us but white Americans, homie.
But what is it about us though that makes us the
most we're disrespectful. We're arrogant.
Loud.
We have an ethnocentric ideology, belief, as if we're better than everybody because we think we were the first.
We think we're old.
Yeah. We're entitled.
Yeah.
We're lazy. When you get on the job with most black people, everybody look at them and see, man, that nigga, we don't work as hard as other people. So it's obvious why they don't like us. Just look around on your job. We the loudest. We come in. If we having a bad day, we go tell them off. We ain't take what we not gonna put up with. And we're not the brightest. We're not. We used to be at the front of the pack, homie, in the 60s and the 50s. We're not the brightest anymore. And we ain't the strongest and the toughest.
Do y'all agree with anything that Charleston White is saying? And a lot of this stuff we may have to circle back on. From an intelligence standpoint, that's one of the things that when I hear it, it hits the hardest. And when I sit back and think about it, I just look at culture. When I sit back and look at how old Stokely Carmichael, Fred Hampton, Tupac, how old, and I threw Pac in there because he was so young. When you look at all that Pac accomplished at 25, it's different. When you throw Malcolm X in there, all of our leaders, all of the leaders, and I'm talking specifically in the black community, when you look at what they were doing at such a young age compared to us in our 20s, us in our 30s, when you look at the speeches that they were given, how they saw the world, the things that were important to them, the things that were prioritized, the things that they were willing to stand on, the things that were socially acceptable. It was cool to be smart back then. It was actually very cool to be smart back then. I'm not sure that that has been the case over the last 30 years. I do think that we are approaching a place now where we're starting to appreciate intelligence. That sounds crazy to even say, but I do think that we're getting more to a point where we're starting to appreciate intelligence and value it and see it as cool. And what do we always talk about? Cool sets the culture. Cool sets the culture. Whatever people deem as cool, that's what people follow. Unless you're doing something that people think that's cool, it doesn't matter what your results are. It doesn't matter if you can say, hey, I accomplished all these things and you should do it too. And this is what I did. And this, I made this amount of money. Unless people see it as cool, people are not going to follow it. Let's keep going.
It's like we think we are. That's why the white boys got.
Look at how we dress. It used to be cool to get dressed up in a shirt and tie and throw your blazer on. I remember growing up when I used to see my dad leaving the house and I'm like, yo, it felt like I was watching Deion Sanders wearing his 49ers jersey when I was a 49ers fan. And I'm like, yo, Deion looks so tough in that jersey. And I used to see my dad walking out the house in those suits. A lot of these suits that I'm wearing right now, at least the blazers, I got a bunch in the closet. I need to get tailored. So thanks, Dad. But think about that. It used to be like, yo, I can't wait until I could throw the suit and tie on. Now it's like, athleisure. Thanks, Lululemon. Thanks, Alo, whatever it is. Now it's just moved to a space of, look at how these two gentlemen are dressed. If this was a platform during the 60s, people wouldn't be dressed like this. So casual, wearing sweatpants. None of this. People would be dressed up, looking what they would be deemed as presentable, professional, these different ways. Now, you can look at it and say, well, that shouldn't matter, you know, how people dress. Should it? And more importantly, does it? That's the more important question.
Got into UFC and started kicking ass.
Us as black people, do we have any allies? Do we have a race that fucks?
White people.
Bro, shut the fuck up.
And Uncle Brother, you bring up a great point. And shout out to Ant in the building. Actually, kind of hard to deny what the brother's saying here. The black population has successfully been derailed. Derailed. And I think that's what needs to be the focus point. Charleston White has a reputation of being crazy, saying crazy, disrespectful things. But a lot of the points when he actually breaks down a lot of what's going on in society, a lot of the issues that we face, a lot of these different things, he makes a lot of sense. He makes a lot of sense. And it's seen as outrageous a lot of ways because he does say a lot of outrageous stuff. You know, he'll say this and then a minute later say something that's just like, bro, you ain't like, that's crazy. Or we'll see it as crazy because we're just not used to it. Now, he is a little wild. I can't even say a little wild. He is wild. But when we break down the points that he's making, do they stand to be true? Do we have a victim mentality that makes us lazy? Do we have a victim mentality that makes us entitled? Do we not realize, and are we disconnected and out of touch to how the rest of the world views us? Are we out of touch where the rest of the world may say, like, it's almost like looking at a player on your team that's just so talented, got so much potential, and you just look at them and like, dang, bro, you just won't work hard. You always making excuses, always worried about the wrong things. And that's why you could never get in the game. And that's why you're always talking about what you would do if you were in this position. You coulda, woulda, shoulda. I think that's how people look at us. I think that's how people look at us. Now, we can either take that in and say, nah, F y'all, we don't care, we doing us. Or we can internalize it and say, you know what are some things that we can improve on? Why are the rest of the people looking at us like this? And to Uncle Brother's point, and Uncle Brother, this may be one of those things where it's like, that's why we got to be careful having a certain mentality where we don't care about the things that are said about us by other people. It's great to have that mindset when you're a Candace Owens and when you're focused and aligned and moving in your purpose. However, for a lot of us, we have this mindset of, I don't care what other people say about me. Only God can judge me. I don't care what these things. A lot of people have that mindset, but they're going in the wrong direction. So those people, it would do them a service. Maybe you should pay attention to some of the things that are being said about you. Maybe it's not everybody else that's the problem. If everybody's telling you the same thing about yourself and why you're not successful and why you're not accomplishing the things that you need to accomplish and why you're pissing a lot of people off, perhaps, who knows? So it's definitely a balance when it comes to it. I think that we need to make sure that who we're following aligns with lead with our principles, morals, and values. And I don't know if we need to have a reset on culture. I would say that we do. But then I guess the question comes up is, who's going to be the person creating the new culture? And that's why a lot of us that are moving, if you feel that you're moving in a righteous way, it's on you to make what you are doing cool. We can't just, it just is what it is. It's not enough to just be successful. If you truly want to change culture, if you only care about the success of you and the people that you already have influence on, cool, just be successful. But if we truly want to change the culture, then it is going to be important. And if we don't want to, and the culture is going to eventually change because everything cycles out. But if we want to change the culture quicker than just waiting for the natural occurrence to happen with the cycle, then it's important for us to prioritize being successful, but also figuring out a way to make it very appealing to the younger generations. That would be my opinion on it. Uncle Brother wrote, my ancestors used to preach putting our absolute best out there for the white people to see. The mission was to show them we're just as good, if not better than them. And what it comes down to me, Uncle Brother, is exactly what Donald Trump said in that interview that he just did with Meet the Press. They asked him about whether he's going to retaliate with the Department of Justice on Joe Biden and maybe other people that may have used the Department of Justice. Y'all know how I feel. Used the Department of Justice to target him as a political opponent. And his response was what? No, we're going to let success. That's going to be success is going to be our retribution. That's what he said. Don't quote me word for word, but that's what my takeaway was from it. Success is going to be our form of retribution. That's how we're going to get our get back, by simply being successful. And I think we need to adapt more of that mindset, as far as forget the whole victimhood and what's owed and what's not. You keep asking people, you keep asking a system that you say is racist, a system that you say is established on white supremacy, that still has white supremacy, and you keep begging and asking the system that is supposed to be racist to provide something to you that's going to make everything good. Bro, if the system's racist, the only thing you can do is to win and gain enough leverage to where you can change that system. Nobody, it's not just going to give it to you. It's not just going to change for you. Like, oh my God, we did so many things wrong to you. Well, we didn't do them, but our ancestors did them. Or maybe it wasn't even our ancestors, but people that maybe share our same pigmentation did it. So therefore, we're just going to give you guys all these reparations, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So the only way to get proper reparations is to do what Donald Trump said: be successful. Let that be, instead of reparations, let that be your form of retribution. Let that be the case. So I don't know. I'm more aligned. Forget all that other stuff. Show me the rules. I don't care if the rules are unfair. Let me figure out the rules and I'll adjust to them and win. And then I can do whatever I need to do to change them, or to put the people that I'm rocking with in a better position to be successful. Uncle Brother wrote, yes, a reset is needed. The goal needs to return to being the best expression of our individual selves as we can be. I'm going to stick with that reset that you just said. Success is the sweetest revenge. 100%. Success is the sweetest revenge. Reset is needed. All right, so remind me after this to play the UFO video of the unidentified, whatever they're calling them now. They're still UFOs to me, flying over New Jersey. Just think about that reset. Remind me just when I get onto that video, reset. And I got some comments on that, but let's finish up with Charleston White.
If you're a patriotic black person, a white person will be your best friend if you're patriotic. If you're a patriotic black person, white people will be your best friend. You see that, nigga? Nigga, the Ku Klux Klan sent me that from Stone Mountain, Georgia. You think I'm bullshit? The Ku Klux Klan sent me that. Look at that address.
Wow.
Hold on. Run that back.
You see that, nigga? Nigga, the Ku Klux Klan sent me that from Stone Mountain, Georgia. You think I'm bullshit? The Ku Klux Klan sent me that. Look at that address.
Wow. Y'all, this is real. I can't put it on camera.
No, look at that address. Where'd that come from? The headquarters.
Memorial Drive.
All right. Like I said, he say something that make a lot of sense and then go left. And but I don't know if it's left for y'all. I think it's left for me. It's one of those things where I don't even know where to go with this. But one thing, I'm not living my life to appeal to any Ku Klux Klan. I don't care. I don't give a damn what they say about me. I don't care what they feel about me. I don't like me getting a letter from the Ku Klux Klan is not something to brag about, in my opinion. But maybe it's just helping to make the point that he's making. His initial statement is that I think he's coming from a position where he's saying that, well, we complain about white people in America like black people complain about white Americans, when in all actuality, white Americans actually like us more than a lot of these other people and groups across the world. So I don't know if this helps make his point. I'm more focused on the other stuff, but let's keep going.
The motherfucking headquarters.
Conservative. Wow. How they find you?
They've been putting my address online forever. They sent that to the main house.
Did you ever go to the main house?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I understand. Who else teaches us how to read? No other race would teach us their language. No other ethnicity group would teach us their language. Yeah. White teachers taught us how to read and was fair to all of us for the most part, no matter what their prejudice or ideology was. So most don't know how to read if it wasn't for a white school.
So you think you
See, I hear this and I hear what he's saying, but it brings up different things in my mind. He just said that the white people teach us, right? White people teach us. And a lot of times we complain about the school systems. We complain about what, and matter of fact, a lot of times we don't complain about the school system, which is why it's so funny to me. That was part of the when they talked about Project 2025, getting rid of the Board of Education system. That was one of the things that was so mind-boggling to me is why Black people care. It's like here you have a school, a education system that is not serving you. It's not working. Matter of fact, it's actually not it's serving white people more than it's serving Black people in America. But Black people are the one that are jumping out the window defending, no, you can't get rid of the Board of Education system. That's racist. It's like, yo, what? If anything, you're wondering why. Well, why are the white folks trying to get rid of the Board of Education system? Isn't it helping y'all? Like, if anything, is hurting the Black people. So that was one of those things where for me, it was a little bit confusing. And then when you look at the education system, if people really care about education, if people really care about the things that their younger generations are learning, if there's so much white supremacy in this world, why do we allow white teachers to teach all of our kids? When you go into a lot of these schools in the hood, you see a lot of white teachers. Am I wrong or am I right? Do you think that a lot of these other cultures would allow people who they claim that are trying to oppress them to teach them certain things? Do you think Jewish people would allow I don't know, Nazis or whoever else, if you're calling them white supremacy, you're calling them all these things in this radical world that we live in, do you think that they would allow a group of people or certain demographic that falls in line with a group of people with a greater system that we think is a part of this whole white supremacy plan? Do we think that we would allow them to teach our kids? And that goes back to his point where he talked about Black people being lazy. Black people say all this stuff. Oh, they're not teaching us. They're brainwashing us. They're doing all this stuff. So why don't you become a teacher? Why don't you homeschool your kids? Why don't we build a school? Why don't we do all these types of things? I'm just wondering because I'm just not the complain type and not do anything after the complaint. It seems like there's more complaints than more actions actually solving the things that are being complained. But maybe that's just my viewpoint on it. But let's, I think that's the end of that video. All right, so now I want to go to, well, what did I say that I need to, oh yeah, the reset. All right, so now I want to switch it up a little bit. Hold on. I think that's the end of Charleston.
White people, if you're patriotic, white people will rock with you before Hispanic will?
Yeah.
Yo, Charleston White crazy, bro. Charleston White is crazy.
Ew, it's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.